Saquon Barkley, Trace McSorley. What do these two names have in common? To many Penn State students, staff, and supporters, they are the face of Penn State athletics. And yes, Penn State football is by far the most profitable sport on campus. There is no denying that. But are they the true heroes of athletics? What about the other sports teams, filled just as much, if not more success than football? Hundreds of athletes here at Penn State have countless Big Ten titles, school records, and national championships that go unrecognized by students and faculty on campus. And I decided to ask them how they feel about that.
My name is Machiko. I'm a sophomore and I'm a swimmer. We're an amazing group of athletes. There are a bunch of girls that went to world championships and represented their nations. So we've got Canada, Mexico, Sri Lanka, that's where I'm from. We also had a bunch of girls go to and qualify for the Olympic trials in 2016. And we've been Big Ten champions for a couple of years. I do attend football games, not often, but when my friends make me, I do. Football receives a ridiculous amount of recognition. I mean, it makes sense to me because it's a money-bringing sport, I guess, in comparison to sports like swimming. But I don't think that it's fair that it has so much more recognition than swimming because, for a sport like swimming, it's always good to have people in the stands supporting you. And let me compare, a regular game, Penn State versus Ohio State. There's 60 to 100,000 people in that stadium, and then you compare our dual meets, which are three colleges together, and it doesn't even fill the entire net, which I can say would be less than 200 people, 100 at the most maybe. And we're all athletes, we all put in the same amount of effort, and I think that more people should be open to supporting different sports, not just football.
Hi, my name is Gunther and I'm a sophomore and I'm on the swimming and diving team at Penn State University. What's special about me specifically is I am only one of 13 swimmers on the team who qualified for the 2016 Olympic trials in Omaha, Nebraska. Among us in Ireland for the past year is Olympian Shane Ryan come back to the States. We don't really receive that much recognition, not nearly as much as football, basketball, hockey, field hockey. In fact, I feel from a personal standpoint that we barely get any recognition whatsoever, if any at all. The recognition that the swim team gets is not nearly compatible with that of football or basketball or any of the sports that are bringing in revenue. In fact, swimming is one of the top 10 sports that are most watched in the Summer Olympics. So I believe, in my opinion, and I'm sure I speak for my fellow teammates, that the sport of swimming should get more attention than it gets now. It is very much well deserved.
My name is Kiana Albury. I am a sophomore and I am here on the track and field team. My sports team has won a lot of Big Ten championships since I've looked at the statistics, and we've had a lot of athletes that have went to Olympics. One to mention is Darrell Hill. He went to Olympics this year and he did pretty good. And we have a lot of athletes who are currently professional athletes who actually went pro in the last few months, which is really outstanding. And we have a lot of athletes with a lot of potential that I see going pro in the next few years. Well, we make special efforts to get our events out there and let people know what's going on. We post them in a lot of groups, share it on the Penn State Snapchats, and even put posters downtown, but we don't really get that much recognition in terms of attendance to our track meets. I have went to a few football games and they receive a lot of recognition, but in comparison to our sports, we don't get as much recognition. I kind of expected it to a certain level because football does generate a lot of money for the university, but I think a lot of the other sports team and our sports team are underrecognized for our accomplishments.
I'm Joshua Smith, a junior, and I'm on the men's gymnastics team. I just think the brotherhood on this team is really great. We come here every day, keeping each other lifted up and motivated. And I think another good thing is, just winning a Big Ten title. That was really big my freshman year. Also, just seeing the Olympians before me. For example, Felix, he competed for Israel, and Kevin competed for the U.S. And it's just great to see those alumni, just make a great path for us. We actually do not get a lot of recognition. We have to make our own social media pages, for example, Instagram, Facebook, and we have to post our own feed and just stuff like that. Yes, I do attend football games, and honestly, football knocks us out of the park. They're on every social media, they're on every corner street, and we barely get a poster on the stores nearby. Compared to the games, to our meets, they have over 100,000 fans, and we can barely squeeze in 50 to 60 per tournament.
My name is Kyla Chipman. I'm a senior and I play rugby. There are a lot of outstanding players that have come through Penn State rugby. We have, just on the women's team, 1,500 alumni, and a lot of those alumni have gone on to be All-American athletes. We actually have a wall of just All-Americans. In addition to that, we have 20 players that have gone on to the national team in 2 different sides. There's 15-a-side rugby and 7-a-side rugby. We've had players contracted at the Olympics. We actually had 2 of our very own players being the first contracted Olympians for rugby in Chula Vista, California. In addition to that, we're very fortunate to actually have our coach be an alumni through our program. She graduated in 2009, won a few national championships herself, had All-American honors all 5 years that she was here, and she went on to go play for the World Cup, went on to captain that team as well, and now we're very lucky to have her back at Penn State coaching us. Definitely with rugby, it's a little bit hard just because rugby's not that well known of a sport in the U.S. It's continually growing, and the more it grows, the more recognition we're getting. We've been very lucky to be successful throughout the history of our program, so that really helps get us support from the school. The school is able to financially support us a little bit, but payers do have to pay to play. In addition to that, the school does give us access to some varsity facilities, but we are still missing a lot of the things that varsity athletes get, like priority scheduling, tutoring, and being able to offer scholarships and financial aid and stuff like that. So considering that we're a team sport, we do get more support from the school than if we were a club sport, but we're definitely not the level of varsity athlete. I personally have attended 2 games this season. It's pretty difficult with the rugby schedule because we also play on Saturdays. But I attend as many games as I can, and it was really awesome this year because we actually got to be recognized at the Minnesota game at halftime for our national championship wins. Football does receive a lot of recognition for everything they do, so every win, it gets posted on Penn State athletic pages, and you always have a stadium full of people. Penn State is obviously a football school, so a lot of the revenue brought into the athletic department is from football, and rightly so, they do get a lot of recognition for it. But we've made, of the last 22 national championship games, we've made 20 appearances and won 11 national titles with the last 5 in a row. We've won the last 5 in a row. So it's really difficult when, we have a lot of national success to not be recognized even at a fraction of what the football team is recognized for.
I'm Lee Smith. I play on the men's volleyball team. I'm a redshirt sophomore. So we have 2 national titles right now. We've made it to the Final Four 30 times. We have, 81 All-Americans total, and we have numerous Olympians. We currently have 3 Olympians on the national team right now, so that's pretty cool. So we don't get that much. A lot of students on campus actually don't really know that we have a men's volleyball team. A lot of them know about the girls volleyball team, and they get a ton of fans every night, and we only get around probably 100 is our average, and so it's not that much compared to other teams. I do attend the football games. It's pretty wild to see the 100,000 fans that attend the football game, and then you come to one of our matches and you'll see only 100. So It's a huge difference. I'd love to see a lot more fans come to our games. It's just not that popular, I guess, in America for volleyball to be like the top sport.
My name is Irene Karopoulos. I'm in my 3rd year here at Penn State, and I play on the ice hockey team. So this year our team is actually contending this weekend to be first in our conference, which is huge, and we've never done that before, so we're all really excited. And right now we have the top defensive core for offense and top power play for offense, and we're actually just doing very well. So we're all super excited, and it's going really awesome this year. So I have been to a few football games, and every time I've gone, it's been like a little bit later, so I'm always stuck at the back of the mosh pit that kind of like hordes towards the front, and then you get in and you're stuck at the back of the student section because all the students are just so supportive of this one sport. Everybody shows up, and then in our sport, we're lucky if we get like 20 students in the student section in a game. So the difference is kind of like 2,000 versus 20. So we don't get that much student support at our games. So I mean, playing at home in our home building, it always feels good to have a big outing because then you just feel all the support and all the love from the fans, and it makes you like really want to play your best. Whereas when there's not many students there, it feels like it still matters, but like you're not playing for everybody, you're just kind of like playing for the team when there could be so much more because we're all part of this huge Penn State community. It'd be so great to play for all of these students, these fans that we represent, and to see them there with us.
We all know where you will be on a Saturday night in the fall, but maybe on a random Thursday night when you have nothing to do, or a Sunday afternoon when you are avoiding doing your schoolwork, maybe give some of the less recognized sports teams a chance.